So if you've just joining us from here on, congratulations. And before now, we actually worked on some certain stuff. We worked on, how you can connect to, how you can create your login and log out. Your login, and how you can create an account, how you can create a login. And this was where we actually left off the other time. And now we want to make our login persistent in such a way that when a user is logged in, we want to be able to save that user data in such a way that throughout our application, throughout our routes, we're going to know the person who actually logged in. That is what session does for us. So we're going to be setting up a section. Now, what normally people do is that they set up session and they store some cookie into, they pass a cookie into the web browser, but into the client as the case may be. But in this case, I'm not going to be going through that. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to be saving our cookie in our database. So we're not going to be saving it on the browser. So we don't want the user in any way, just for security purpose. We don't just want to, compromise anything. So we're going to be setting that right away in our database. And we're going to be needing some stuff. So before then, let's get our hands dirty and first get what is called a section. Now, there's a section that is called Express section. That is actually baked with Express. So it is called Express section. So if you come in here, you find this, which is called Express section. And here it is, then you can install this npm install Express section. Very simple. Then of course you guess right, you can require that as well. So we're just going to install that. Then we'll also need what is called a cookie parser. So we'll allow that to install before we install this. We can install 2 or 3 things at the same time, but you just want to get one done after the other. So the next one that we're going to be needing, we'll need a cookie parser, just the way we have a body parser. So we also need a cookie parser. So we're going to be telling you what that cookie parser is going to be used for later. So we get a cookie parser. Okay, so npm install cookie parser. So here we go. The cookie parser is being installed. For a moment, so now we're going to be using this now. We're going to be using the Express. So let's go on and check out the documentation on npm. So to use that, you're just going to create a middleware and say app.use, then whatever the section name is, then you create some configuration on it. So I'm going to be looking for that part. So I think this is it. We're going to be using this. Fine. So this is what we're going to put in it. Now, on the nums, you can just go ahead and copy this if you want to. And if you don't want to, we can go through the process for ourselves. So it means that you should just set a proxy and set it to true. And you cannot take your app.use section, then make use of this and set it through. So I'm just going to copy this. It's quite simple. I'm just going to copy this and I'll explain this to you. So this is it. Right here on our app.use, on our app.js. So we're going to be creating that section. So we would like to create the section before the route. Can you see this? So don't do it after the route. So let it come before the route. So let's put it here after the database. So let's call this section, or we'll paste in what we just copied. So the first one is to set the proxy. And this is not really too important. You can decide to skip this. And the second one, which is actually very, very important, is to bring in the section. Now, we have not required this section. So we have to go and require Express section. So it has been installed, but it hasn't been required. So we're going to call it const section. So equal to require. Now this is going to be called Express section. Okay, so we have Express section installed and it's here, right? So right away, we set up the configuration. So this is very simple to use, app.use. I think I'm just going to take all this off and I'm just going to explain this to you. You see this, all these that you see here, they are all called properties, right? This you see, they are called properties. So if I take this off, so what you're seeing here is just app.use, then you call in the section method. So you fire it up, section, right? Inside the section, that is where you have those properties. And I'm going to be explaining those properties to you. So in here, it's where you have those properties that I just cut out. So these are the properties. So I'm just going to write the properties or the configuration, how you actually want it to work. So these are going to be the properties or the configurations. So now we're going to be setting the secrets. The default secret set for us is this. We're going to set it in we're going to create a secret in .env. Is that okay? Just like password. And we're going to access it here. For now, we're just going to be using this. And behind the scene, I'm going to change this, right? And save your data on the .env, just the way you did for database and the rest. Okay, the database and string earlier. So let's look at each of them. We have receive. Receive going to be false, which means we don't want it to be receiving all the time. Save initially, immediately you start the cookie section, it should be saved. And here is cookie. We want a secure cookie, and this is what we're going to put there. We'll say cookie, and it's secure, right? And the next thing that we're also going to do is to also try to create our cookie parser in such a way that we'll be able to save our cookie on this section. Don't forget, the section actually makes it persistent to all the pages. The cookie actually stores some information that actually make our browser to remember who is what logged in. Imagine you go to a website and you try to shop for a particular item and you logged out and you come back to that website, you can still see some of the product that you placed into the shopping cart. So we're going to be having that also. Now in this cookie session, there are some properties that you can run in here. The first one is secure, we want it to be true, right? Then the second property that we want to actually put in is called store. So there is a cookie store, right? So we're going to be setting a cookie store here. Now, what is that cookie store? That cookie store is going to be our URL, right, to the database and the collections that we're going to be creating. So in this case, we're not going to be creating schema, the structure of the collection or the database as the case may be. So all we'll just do is to use connect Mongo, and that's going to be for another lesson for now. So it's going to be stored in there. So I'm going to put in whatever we needed to be stored is going to go in here, right? And what's next? Okay, let me just put a string. And and that will be it. And after that, we're going to be having another property, which is called age. How long do we want the cookie to last? So it's called age, right? So we have that property in here, which is called age. Okay, so we're going to add that to it as well. We're going to be doing that in our maximum age here. What's the maximum age, not age? So how long do you want the cookie to last? So we're going to put the property, the maximum age, and put the property. For example, if we want it to last for 1 millisecond, is 1 second is 1,000 milliseconds. So say 60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour. So 24 hours make 1 day. So a little bit of calculations there. So we're going to do this times 60, 60 times 60, which is 3,600. That's 1 hour, right? This is going to be 1 hour. So how long do we want it to last? We want it to last for 24 hours. then multiply by the number of days you actually want. So I'm just going to set this to be 7 days. So it can be 4 weeks, it can be 5 weeks, it can be 2 months, whatever, age, maximum age you want to set it to. You are absolutely free to do that. And the last thing I will do before we end this section, it's going to be adding a cookie parser. I think we're going to end the session right now because the time is far spent. I'll see you in the next section where we add in the cookie parser and we are able to connect to save our cookie in the database. Hope to see you soon. Bye.